Hey guys, welcome back. If you are struggling with keeping up your motivation through bad criticism, this is definitely going to be the video for you. So the idea for this video actually came from a comment on a different one of my videos in the Academic Society for Grad Students Facebook group. And if you're not a part of this Facebook group, I will have it linked below. It is ran by Dr. Toyan Ali, hoping I got her name right. And she is an instructor of math. She also has a YouTube channel that I will also have linked here, and she has a really great channel for resources for grad students. So I really hope that you guys can check that out if you're not already a part of that. And this comment was on my different video talking about criticism in graduate school, which if you haven't seen, it'll also be linked above here. But it was basically, it would also be helpful if you talked about how to work through bad criticism and how to retain your motivation throughout it all. And that is kind of a heart-wrenching topic for me. And usually I'll script my videos out, and I really didn't want to do that with this one because I wanted y'all to see me a little bit more unfiltered and just talking through, motivation and dealing with these things. So we're going to see how long this is and how it goes, but here's kind of what I wanted to talk about. So getting bad criticism it can be demeaning, it can be hurtful. I remember my first year going to a conference in my field. I was a first year grad student, and I was presenting a poster, and I had someone approach me, and I kind of walked them through my poster, and at the end of it, they just turned to me and said, you didn't do all of these other experiments, and they were suggesting that I basically did 6 hours worth of experiments to lead up to an hour-long experiment, which nobody ever does in my field. But anyways, and so they said that I didn't do these things, and they told me that I wasn't a rigorous enough chemist, and I was never going to get anywhere. And in that moment, that just crushed me. They were someone who was in a big name lab that I wasn't in for my field, and it was like, well, they must know what's going on, right? Like, they must know what you need to do to get somewhere in this field, and I'm just a first year grad student. So obviously I'm wrong. Obviously I'm not doing what I should be doing. And I was working really hard, and I had done multiple projects by that time, and it made me just question everything, right? Because you don't expect someone to just tell you you're never going to go anywhere when you feel like you're getting somewhere. I came back from that conference, and I was angry, I was upset, I was frustrated. So many other things had just happened that just, people telling me that the only reason my research was succeeding is because I was given easy projects when I was actually coming up with my own projects at the time. But all of this is really awful criticism I was getting, basically telling me I wasn't good enough. I was never going to get where I wanted to go. And it was enough to make me kind of reflect on what I was doing. What was I doing trying to get a PhD when obviously I wasn't good enough for the field? And, whenever we get really awful criticism, a lot of times it makes us be like, okay, well, we're not good enough, so I'm just going to give up. Or even if it's not like giving up and I'm going to withdraw from my program or something that extreme, even if it's just I'm not going to keep trying if I'm never going to be good enough. I'm just going to put in the bare minimum, and it basically becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? But if you give up, if you don't keep going full steam ahead, the only person you have to blame for that is you. And that is something that's really difficult because there will always be an excuse of why you didn't do well as long as you're looking for one. If you want to blame that one critic who was really harsh on you and made you realize that you were never going anywhere, there's always someone like that if you want to give up. But if this is what you want to do, you've got to do it for you. And if you're doing it for getting praise from other people, if you're doing it because you want to be impressive, not everyone's going to find it impressive. Not everyone's going to praise you, especially in academia. We do not get the kind of motivation and praise even when we do a really good work. We don't get it. People are too busy to care about that, to care about giving, telling you did a good job. And they only have the time to tell you how to fix whatever you've done. And it can be crushing, but if you give up, it's you. You're the reason you're giving up. And you're the one that's going to suffer from it. Because even if I talked to that same person who told me I was never going to become anything and I wasn't rigorous enough, which is a big deal in analytical chemistry. You need to be a rigorous scientist to be successful. If I was to talk to that person, they probably wouldn't even remember that they told me that. That had such a big impact on me, but they wouldn't remember. And a lot of the times, whenever you get really awful criticism, non-constructive criticism, they don't remember, they don't care. It doesn't stick in their mind because it was just something they said. Instead of, in your mind, it's crushing and demeaning. And, I listened to, Catherine Manning, she's also another YouTuber. She has a quote that no one will believe in your dreams until you succeed, or something like that. But essentially, if you want to go get something, you can't expect people to be backing you up from day one, that everyone's like, yeah, you're totally going to be able to do it. But once you succeed, they're all going to be like, yeah, you totally could have done it, And I think that's super true in academia. Because the people who were just rude and mean and awful in their criticisms are the ones that at the end are going to be like, oh, I always knew you could do it. I was just trying to be tough on you to make sure you got there. Or any of that other things that people say. But people are always going to find something wrong. And I think especially thinking about why did someone even decide that was something good to say to you, right? Why did someone even say that? And it can be a mixture of things. And if it really is bad criticism, if it's non-constructive criticism, then what you will find is that it was a problem with them, not with you. And so the person who told me, I wasn't a rigorous enough chemist, well, I was presenting work that basically showed that his lab's work was wrong, essentially, or it hadn't been investigated well enough. And his lab's work was being threatened by the work I was showing. And that's why he was degrading me and devaluing me, because he was feeling threatened by what I was showing. It had nothing to do. He knew nothing about me. He knew nothing about how I worked. All he saw was one project that I had done, and he was assuming all of these things because he didn't like the results of that project. People love to project on other people what they are concerned about in that moment, right? And so dealing with that and realizing, maybe it's just they're having a bad day and you're too happy for them, or your life is going too well, so they've got to bring you down so that they can feel better about themselves, right? Maybe it's just that, and that's the reason they're saying that. Or there could be a million reasons. They could be feeling threatened. They could be feeling powerless, but a lot of times if they are not putting in thoughtful criticism, it's on them. It's their problem, and keeping motivated through it is so hard. It can make you want to give up. It can make you feel like, why am I even trying? And I'm not saying, if you are in some form of emotionally abusive situation, even if it is with your advisor, I'm not saying that you just need to ride that situation out, because you need to switch labs, you need to do whatever you can do, but don't give up on your dream. If you want to get your PhD and you just feel like everyone is against you right now, you're the only one that can fully take you out of it. You're the only one that can quit the program. You're the only one who can stop pushing for what you want to get. I feel like I should be much more motivational in this, and I feel like I'm just coming down, but don't take the bad criticism as true criticism on you. And realize that everyone has something going on. Everyone is human. And your professor is human. They're not always going to be doing the right thing. They're not always going to be able to be there for you. And so build a support network of people that you trust, of people that are in fact good critics for you, of people that you can go and rant to, that will give you good advice, and kind of lean on them when you need to, and realize people are humans and everyone has stuff going on. And if they're truly giving you bad criticism, like you're not good enough, you telling me I'm not rigorous enough, and so you've got to dig in and keep pushing forward, even when, everything is pushing against you. Because one day it will break. And as soon as they actually see what you're doing, everything's going to fall away. And then all of a sudden they're going to be so for you and so happy. And you're going to be like their pride and joy. Like, imagine that moment when every time they told you you weren't good enough, you weren't going to make it, when you actually make it. When you can actually feel that you've achieved your dream and it's because of you. It's not because of anyone else. It's not because people made it easier for you. You did it because of you, because you're awesome. And if you've made it to this part of this video in my kind of ranting state, put down a comment and just say, I am awesome. I'm going to achieve my dream. Sometimes we all need to say that for ourselves again. We constantly in our head have this self-talk. Well, at least if you're me, I constantly in my head have this self-talk that I'm not good enough. Nobody's going to listen to me. No one's going to care what I have to say. I'm never going to make it. I'm never going to get a job. All of this self-doubt in my head that sometimes just saying, I can achieve my dream. I can get there because I want it badly enough. And I don't care who gets in my way. I'm going to figure out how to get there. And so if you make it this far, write that in the comments below, and then write down if you have any other comments or questions. I would love to answer, make videos answering specific questions that y'all have, or if you just need, motivation on different topics. I love trying to give motivation, though I feel like my motivation is not as, nice as everyone else's. I feel like I'm a very real and maybe dark motivationalist. But this was just kind of me unfiltered giving, my advice and what I think. And I hope you guys like it. If you do, hit the like button. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. This is going to help support me and let me know if you actually like kind of these style videos. So I hope you like this, and I will see you the next time I post videos. I may be playing around with my scheduling a little bit, just to see what times work best. So I think I'm going to be posting a little bit later in the evenings, more around 6 p.m. Eastern time, in case y'all are wondering. I will see you guys next time. I hope this was helpful for y'all today. Bye.